Recording.
Excellent. You guys, welcome. Happy Friday. Today's class, we're going to focus strictly on one thing in marketing resource, and that's sending out, customizing your personal real estate newsletter. As you guys all know, in marketing, we take a lot of time and a lot of pride in curating content for you, meaning gathering appropriate content with our weekly deliverables, our newsletters, our e-cards, links, all of that good stuff. And the whole point of that is for you to utilize what works for you to your clientele, to your SOI. So staying top of mind is very important. And one of the best ways to do that is to send out a monthly newsletter. We want to make sure that we're giving them real estate related content and that you are staying top of mind with your name in front of them. That's the key point. Now, some of you do this different ways, but right now we're going to really focus on the marketing resource newsletter, how to customize it and make sure that you can send it out and then track those results. That is the power of marketing resource. Not only does it look beautiful, but you can track the activity, see who's opened, who's clicked through, what they've clicked through to, and really understand your client's needs, wants, just by looking at their activity for your digital content. So I'm going to get started here and share my screen, and then I'm going to turn it over to Shane and Joe here in a moment. But the first thing that's really important is to make sure you have your profile updated. So right now, I know we went through the profiles in the profile class. If you're not sure about the profile class, check it out on our YouTube page, BHHS Utah Learning, or on the intranet. But real quick, I just want to make sure if you are new to this or you haven't done this in a while, we're going to log into the Marketing Resource Center, the Resource Center rather, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your name. And some of you are going to see a picture, and some of you are not. You're going to hit this drop down. You're going to go to My Profile. This is a very important profile because it is the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services profile. Everything that they have on you that they syndicate to their website comes from this page right here, My Profile on the Resource Center. So again, this is where you're going to see your information. You're going to see your primary address. And you want to make sure that your business phone and your mobile phone are correct. Very, very important. As well as to change your photo. This is the photo that's going to pull in to the marketing resource profile. So first you want it here. And the way they changed this up was to make sure that you had your profile picture also on the Berkshire Hathaway corporate website, which syndicates all of our listings as well globally. So we want to make sure that that's up to date. You are marketing yourself appropriately. So obviously you can just hit change here, upload a file, or drop a file in, which is very convenient. So take a look at that first. Then I'm going to go back to the home page here, and I'm going to click on this tile here in the middle, Marketing Resource. I'm going to go into Marketing Resource, and in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to go to My Profile. Some of you are going to have a single profile. Some of you, if you're working on Teams or have an assistant, you'll see multiple there. But I'm going to go to My Regular Profile, and I'm going to hit Profile. So name in the upper right-hand corner, Profile. Again, we're not going to go through all the steps here, but make sure there's that photo pulling in from the Resource Center. Make sure all of this is updated. You don't want the global website. You want the local Utah website or your personal website. And you have to make sure your phone number is correct. It's going to default to the main office line. You don't want that. You want your calls coming straight to you. So just double check that. Make sure to hit Save Changes in the bottom right-hand corner. And then you're going to be off and running. So all of your new content, everything that you create from here on out, we're going to make sure that all of that contact information is automatically inserted. So it's a great place to start. And now I'm going to turn it over. This is going to be a quick class because it's very quick and simple to customize your newsletter. So I'm going to turn it over to our amazing, talented, smart, funny, energetic digital content manager, Shane Dodge.
All right, well, thanks for the riveting introduction, Jamie. I'm still working on, well, we're both working on finishing up the July newsletter. So I'm going to be showing you how to customize and complete and share and send out your newsletter via Marketing Resource with the June template instead of the July. I'm sorry to disappoint you. So I'm gonna go ahead and click share screen. Let's make sure it's working. Okay, are we on? You see it?
We see it.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so the first step obviously is you want to log into Marketing Resource. And I'm here in the Resource Center screen. You all know by now how to get into Marketing Resource. I hope so. You click Marketing Resource here. And one mistake I would make when I would get into Marketing Resource is I would just automatically click Market a Property. And I noticed that when I clicked that and then sorted through the library, I wouldn't find specific things I'm looking for. So now I always just click up here, click library, and then everything you need will all be available right there. That was a mistake I've been making for a long, long time. And now I know, just click library, everything will be available to you that way. And if for whatever reason you can't find something, I always will just click to my library and then back to master, and that'll refresh everything. Okay, so now type in newsletter in this left-hand search bar. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the Wasatch back template from last year. And you go ahead and click that. And you'll click get started. And the title doesn't matter per se, except for on your end. No one else is gonna see what you name it. I mean, you can see from my suggested titles here, I have like a stupid, like just random letters because I'm in a hurry. I'm going to title it June Newsletter 2020 and click continue. Okay, and I've seen a handful of agents customize their newsletters, but not as many as I would like to. So I kind of want to show you guys a few things. Firstly, we make this so you can just send it off as is. If you don't want to do any additional work, that's completely fine. We just believe that adding your personal touch to it goes a long way. I think if someone sees, if they open email and they see your face or a listing of yours or a personal note from you first, they're more inclined to look at the rest of it. Okay, so this is the newsletter as is. Lovely, lovely. Okay, we have about 5 stories here. And first thing I want to show you is the story management column on this left-hand side. This allows you to switch around or control any of the stories and remove them or add them however you please. So if you look in order here, so it says full width image, that would be this masthead right here. If for whatever reason you didn't like the masthead, which I wouldn't suggest removing it, but if you didn't like it, all you would have to do is click this check mark and that would remove that. And then same for below. So let's say we're scrolling down and you don't want to feature this gardening story. You hate gardening. You're anti-gardening. So all you would have to do is just, this is the tricky part, you kind of have to count down. So we would go 1, 2, 1, 2, and you would click, that's 2 stories. You would uncheck mark these 2. And this would allow you to remove the gardening piece. Voila, it's gone. Something to note when you're doing stuff like this is in between each story, every photo and story, there's a divider rule, mostly to divide up the information and for design purposes. So just make sure you uncheck one of those divider rules too, or else you'll have 2 lines right there. And I don't think most people will notice that, but the designer in me is like, no, we don't want that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
and just as easily, Linda, just as easily as you take it out, yes, you can add it back in with just that clicking of the left box on the left-hand column.
Yep, if you decide you want it back, then you just check this again and they'll reappear along with the divider rule. I would recommend keeping track of the divider rules too, just because it keeps things nice and clean and it kind of helps you distinguish story from story. Okay, So now I'm going to show you how to add a, let's do a, we'll probably do a greeting first. I want to show you guys how to potentially add a listing of yours and also add a personal note from yourself, because I've seen a lot of agents do the personal notes, and I think it goes a long way, kind of like a summary of the past month or something to that effect. So what I'm going to choose is this 2-column 4 at the bottom here, and I recommend just clicking through and taking a look at what all of them look like, because the customization options are plentiful. You can get really creative if you want to, and it's kind of fun in my opinion. See, so I click the 2-column 4 here, and that's this story right here. And then I click the 3-column 1, and that's this section down here. So obviously, what I would do in this section potentially is 3 listings. I have 3 listings come onto the market this week, and you would plug them in right here. That's just one example. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on this 2-column 4 because I wanted to do the personal note. And you'll click this left-hand check mark here, and there we go. You click that left-hand mark in the left-hand corner of the photo, and then click upload. And I always throw everything onto my desktop because that's the easiest way for me to find it. And I have a folder titled Marketing Resource. I should really clean my desktop. Okay, marketing resource, okay? And I chose a lovely photo of my friend Heidi Ingham, and we're just going to plug it in there. And it does take a minute to load, so be patient with that. I've had a couple errors. It's few and far between, but just always make sure that it appears correctly. Sometimes it'll say it uploaded when it didn't. Okay, and then we'll click done. Voila. Okay, and now if I was hiding them, which I'm not, I would then click on this text here, and I think it is a good idea to just kind of write a cute little note. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's been a busy month for me. Our brokerage had a record-setting week with under contracts, something to that effect. The market's been hot. We've been very busy. I went camping last week. It was great, okay? And now I'm going to move this story to the top, right below the masthead.
This is one of my favorite components of Marketing Resource and these newsletter templates is sometimes your idea for a piece is not fully baked. I know that happens with Shane and I a lot, and we were working together on something, and then we realize maybe a certain piece should be before another piece. And instead of reworking the whole thing, we just move it, just drag and drop, which I love about this program.
Exactly. Yeah, it can just be a short and simple note. Okay, I'm moving this up slowly and surely. There we go. Okay. It is up top. Okay. Lovely masthead. Photo of yourself. I would recommend personally, probably not a headshot. If you have like maybe a photo of you out camping or something you had done, maybe a photo with you and some clients that you just put under contract. I think something like that goes a long way.
Or you with a face mask on.
Yeah, exactly. Very relevant point, Jamie, to what we were just talking about.
And the other thing I really love about this too is it's, if you see in the upper right hand corner as Shane is moving the things around and working on it, it's saving as you go. So we know, or we hear a lot of, oh my gosh, then the phone rang. Well, guess what? The phone ringing for you is a good thing. So the phone ringing is a good thing. You have to click out. You've got to go to your Moxie presentation. You've got to pull up a new listing. You've got to see something else. It's all saved and it's going to be waiting for you whenever you get back around to it.
Okay, yep, exactly. And now I'm just moving that divider rule up so I can put it right below this section just to keep things nice and orderly here. It just kind of breaks up the information. It's kind of a graphic design thing. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a listing at the bottom. And the reason I'm adding at the bottom is you can add at the top if you want, but I'm adding at the bottom because I think the point of the newsletter is to provide useful, relevant information to your SOI. So if the first thing they see is, check out this home that's for sale, you should buy it, yada, 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 that's not necessarily the point of the newsletter. We want to provide useful information about real estate, about the state in general. So I prefer to put it at the bottom. So if they scroll that far, it's just kind of like, oh, here's this, by the way, okay? So I put this at the bottom, and then if I wanted to customize it, again, click this button in the left-hand corner, click upload. And again, I'm gonna go to desktop, scroll through a million things. Okay, and I have a photo of one of Heidi's listings to stay in theme. Okay, and then we're just gonna erase all of this text here after the photo loads. It does take a minute. Lovely. And then you'll click here, and it looks like this is a story from the last newsletter. So you'll just go ahead and erase all of that. And then you can kind of customize it however you would like. I would probably put a header. I just put this lovely Red Ledges home on the market. And if you are wondering how to format it, just kind of take a look at the formatting of the other stories. And you can kind of tell how to keep it consistent with the others. So I usually do a 24 font size and then a 14 font size below that. And I'll put 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,000 square feet, something to that effect. Okay, perfect. We've customized our newsletter. Didn't take very long. Honestly, it would have been a lot faster if I didn't have to scroll through my entire huge desktop to get that stuff. Okay.
So Shane, Shane, what if we wanted to add a link to, say, the Spotlight tour or the microsite with that cool photo of the listing you just put in there?
I'm glad you asked that because I tried to make a mental note in my head to include that and forgot. So thanks, Joe. Okay, so it's very important that he said that. It's always important to add links wherever possible because that 1 in 10 people will click there, and that just helps further that relationship or further that impression of you as a real estate agent in your SOI or that person's head. So I always add links to every single photo. And what I would do for this spot right here with Heidi is I would actually probably go to, let's see, I'd probably pull up her agent website and plug that in there. I'm not going to search for hers. I'm just going to go to Carol's, okay? And plug that in this photo here.
The
And
whole
now,
point of linking anything and everything is engagement. We're trying to get your clients to engage with you. And if they want to see more about you, link them to your bio page. If they want to learn more about that listing, send them to that listing. If they want to see your gardening tips and where you got that article, send them there. Give them what they want. And then you can track how they're engaging with you, which is very helpful for your future content as you develop it.
exactly. And even if you wanted to go even further, I would probably add that agent website link even to the masthead here. We just have the BHHS Utah website there, but I would add the link to your personal website there as well. The more traffic you can get that way, the better, obviously. Okay. And then,
Yeah, like so like rule number one maybe of digital marketing is that we know the visuals are going to draw their eye, right, Shane? I mean, that's what you specialize in, making sure people are looking at something.
yeah.
And then as our behaviors, as our digital marketing, digital customers, if you will, behaviors sort of expand on that, is that when I see this lovely Red Ledges home, I go, oh, that's cool. We are going to put our mouse over that picture. That's the default of what we're going to do. And so what Shane just showed is you just hover over the picture and you see a little green check mark there. So if Shane just actually clicks on that photo right now, he'll get what's called a modal. That's what drops out, see to the left there. And then right below any of those photos, you can see that there's a box to insert any link that you feel appropriate for that photo. And so by hot linking Heidi's picture, in this case to Carol, because they're good friends. So, why not send Heidi's picture to Carol's page? But when you do that, then in here, so let's say that you had your spotlight tour, or you did you paid for the Matterport. So you want the 3D home tour of this home to pop out. When you do that, you literally only have to click on the photo in your newsletter, and that little modal, that little side pocket will slide out to the left, and there's a blank box there at the bottom that you can insert any link you think appropriate when they click on that photo. And so understand, as Jamie said at the beginning, the whole purpose of this is to make sure that your SOI knows that you're still around and you're providing them something of value. So if from your newsletter, you take just a few extra minutes and go ahead and put some links in there, now you've got this incredibly interactive newsletter that you control. This is all on where you want them to go once they make that click. Good job, Shane.
Exactly. Yes. You covered that perfectly. One other thing I want to notate is people will click on it. I mean, if you just check the screen right here and you hover over a photo, you notice how the mouse changes. It's just kind of a behavior thing where people are just genuinely curious and click. So people will click. And one thing I'll briefly review afterwards is that you can actually go back and check and see who clicked on what. It'll show you which person clicked on which story, which person checked out your website, and that allows you the opportunity to maybe follow up with them later on, okay? So this is complete. We've customized it. We've gone the extra mile, A+ for effort. Now, I'm going to show you how to send it first. So we'll click this mail icon in the top right, okay? We have to make sure we all have all green check marks, otherwise it won't allow us to send it. Looks like we're good. Click this mail icon. And then what I usually do, and I hope you guys do too, is I go to add from address book and I go to groups. I'm hoping you guys have already sorted out your SOI into various groups. I'm sure there have been plenty of classes on that. In fact, I know there have been, but don't hesitate to reach out to any of us if you need help with that, okay? So now I would go through and maybe select whoever I wanted to send it to, yada, 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 okay? And then I would click add selected once you've chosen who you want to send it to. And I should notate that you can also just go through your individual contacts and maybe select a handful that you haven't sorted yet. And once you're finished with that, click add selected, and you can either click send now or schedule it. Now, depending on when you're working on this newsletter, would depend on whether you would click schedule or send now. If you're working on this on a Friday at 8 p.m., I don't think you're gonna wanna hit send now. No one's gonna be checking their emails at 8 p.m. on a Friday. Well, maybe the real estate agents will, Because I guys know, I know you guys are always on your emails. But most regular people probably would not, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. If you wanted to send it at that very moment, which would hopefully probably be on a weekday, maybe in the morning is when I would probably recommend to send it. Maybe Sunday evening, just kind of depends on the behavior of whoever you're targeting. You click send now, or you can click schedule and choose a specific day. I'll choose Monday at 8 a.m. Well, probably like 9.
I was gonna say, Shane, you're more of a 9:30
Yeah. I
guy.
was just thinking, I was like, I would not be awake at 8 a.m. So I would schedule it for 9:40 a.m.
So I'll tell you, the biggest challenge for people is to get their contacts in. And I've heard so many people compliment the marketing department for all the great content, but they have yet to get their contacts together. And Joe and I always say it's better to send it to 10 people than to 0 people. So if you can get 10 contacts, 20 contacts, 50 contacts together, send them to us. Let us do that hard work uploading them. Cheryl Staley, you mentioned making sure that you can form a group. We're happy to do that for you. We want you to market to your clients. We want you to stay top of mind. You have to get us the list in a digital format, a CSV file, or just an Excel spreadsheet. All we really need is first name, last name, email address to make this poignant and start working for you.
Exactly. Okay. So we would click send now, obviously, if we wanted to send that at the moment. And now I'm going to show you how to share it on social media, because I think it's always important to leverage whatever content you have across as many platforms as possible. You don't just have to send an e-blast. You can also post it on social media, make it work for you on more than one place so you can reach as many people as possible. Maybe you don't have some of your Facebook friends' email list, but you can share this and still put it in front of their face in that way, okay? So we'd click the Facebook icon right here, or the LinkedIn icon. So we'll click the Facebook one, and you'll click share. And it does take a minute to load sometimes.
And as Shane mentioned, the great thing about adding it to social media is you're hitting different clientele, different friends, different colleagues. One of the things I hear most often is, how did my family friend not know I was a realtor? How did they not know that? Well, did you tell them? Are you telling them often? So we want to make sure that you are doing, like Shane said, leveraging that across the platforms that you use, email, social content. If you're using LinkedIn, that would be great too. Go ahead, Shane.
Exactly. Okay, and this is actually a very important part in my opinion, because I've seen a lot of you share these on social media, but you skip one important step, and that's to change the preview option for how it appears when you share it. So if you were to just click post to Facebook and skip this step, this is what it would look like. And you know, I'm pretty proud of the newsletter, I have to say, but when it displays like this, it doesn't look too hot. I mean, it just doesn't do it justice in my opinion. So what you're going to do to change the way it appears on people's feed is click this crop button on the bottom right corner of the preview. And then, this might be tricky, okay. And then you should be able to drag this box over what part you want to appear. Now you could either do it over the masthead here, like so, or you could do it over your introduction part, your personalized part, a photo of you and the kids, etc. And that might be a bit more of an enticing way to share it. That's entirely up to you. I just think as long as you're customizing it, that's the best part, okay? Now, you have to scroll all the way down, I believe, and click this check mark. I've had a few people ask me questions about that. They'll scan it over and they're like, what do I do now? And yeah, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom and click this check mark. Okay. And I think it looks a little squished right now, but that shouldn't be the case when you share it. I think that's just the way it's displaying.
And that looks so much better than the half a paragraph with some bullet points that make no sense from the part that it pulled. So really good key step if you're going to share it to Facebook is to crop it.
Exactly. Yep. And then you click all the way down, click that. And then you would click post to Facebook. Okay. And then that's done. Share it to your social media. Everyone's seen it. I would recommend personally sharing it to your business page, and then from your personal page, share it to your friends there and say, hey, check out this newsletter I did. It gives you updates on my life and what's going on in the real estate market.
And to that point, Shane, Linda was working on that this morning and ran into an error from Facebook saying that it has to be a business page. That changes from time to time. For the last couple of years, actually, we were able to use Marketing Resource to post to a personal Facebook page. Facebook changed their policies on allowing third-party platforms to post to people's individual personal social media pages. I think they're trying really hard not to create the issues that sometimes the Facebook fake posts and that kind of stuff goes on. So they're sort of eliminating third-party platforms from automatically posting to a personal page. The assumption I am imagining on the Facebook side is that they figure if you took the time to set up a business page, then you probably know what you're doing with a third-party app. But for right now, yeah, you will run into an error that says you can't post this to your personal page. You can, however, put a link, up there in the upper right-hand corner. Instead of clicking the F for Facebook, you can click that little link icon, and that will give you a individual URL that you can then post on your personal Facebook page. That's how you can get around that little Facebook rule right now.
Or as I just mentioned, share it to your business page, and then from your personal page, share that post, because I'm sure some of your Facebook friends, even though all of them should have, haven't liked your page. It allows you to give your business page more exposure to some of the people on your friends list who haven't liked it yet. Okay.
Yeah. So those are two ways to kind of get around that current policy with Facebook.
Exactly. There's always a workaround. And it's everything I had to show you guys.
Great job, Shane.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think, Jamie, wrapping up, maybe we'll just talk a little bit about the generic pages, or do we want to just stay focused on on the newsletter today?
I want to stay focused on the newsletter today so that we can share this very simple, straightforward training. Shane, if you go ahead and stop sharing your screen, I can do a little wrap up. But what we're going to do is shortly we're going to just turn off the recording, and then we're just going to stick around. Joe and I and Shane are going to stick around. We'll unmute y'all. If you want to have any questions about marketing or anything like that, you just let us know. And for those of you that are off to the rest of your day, take care, be safe, and have a great weekend.